Good morning, my crafty friends. The dirty paintbrush here, back in the craft dungeon. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody has had a great week. I am running a little low on sleep, only because, you know, we had to skip ahead an hour early this morning. I don't know why we still go through the mess of that every year, and I can't just leave the clocks alone. But anyway, throws the sleep schedule off a little bit, throws the dog feeding schedule off a little bit. So yeah, you know how it goes. But it is one of those things that kind of helps remind you that spring is on its way, which is always nice because we finally have a little bit of warmer weather here, and that's great. So I'm just I just decided to go ahead and record. I've been doing a lot of stuff, but I find that most of the time when I actually come sit down in here and do stuff, that I also do other stuff at the same time. So I'll do a little bit of crafting, and then I'll get up and do something else, and then I'll get on the computer and do something else. And so I rarely actually just sit down and just craft for long periods of time without interruption. So I've been trying to figure out how I can, you know, sit and make a 20-30 minute video without you know, getting up and feeling like I have to do something else. I really feel like part of that is I think I have some ADHD or something that I've just never had diagnosed. And so it makes it hard for me to just kind of stay on one task. But I'm going to try today because I've missed coming on and sharing with you and being able to read and respond to your comments. And so first thing is, I just want to ask how many people have clean paintbrushes. Mine have actually been a lot more clean lately because I finally went and bought a bottle of Murphy's oil soap. And I bought it originally because people had said it's great for cleaning paintbrushes. And then I was watching Mary over at Inspired Art by Mary last night, and she happened to get a spray bottle out to clean her craft table with that had Murphy's oil soap in it, and she uses that to clean up and even clean her hands and things like that. And I was like, what the heck, why didn't I think of that? So then I went and made a spray bottle so that I have some in a spray bottle as well. And I cleaned off some stuff on here last night with the spray bottle after I had made a little bit of a mess. And what I like about that is, you know, because I will get a wipe out and I'll use it once, and then I have a pile of wipes over here that are obviously all dried out, but if they're not fully covered in paint like this one is, and that's going to be a pretty cool background. Look how it looks like. It almost looks like there's some alcohol ink or watercolor going on in there, so that's going to be a nice one to keep. But what I would do is I would kind of respray these with water and use them to kind of wipe my fingers off, but now I can respray them with the Murphy's oil soap in the spray bottle and actually feel like and it doesn't leave a nasty residue, and it just smells clean. And so I highly recommend buying a bottle of it to use for both purposes. So when I have paintbrushes that have just been sitting in dirty water for, I won't say days, weeks, whatever, because I don't want to scare everybody on how long mine stay in dirty water. I have a bathroom right next to my craft room, and I still, for some reason, just can't bring myself to get up and go into the bathroom and dump my water and put fresh water in. So I probably only do that a couple times a week. So yeah, I've been working on, anyway, so I highly recommend getting it, getting the Murphy's oil soap. I think it is great stuff, and that brush is gonna need some. Like, all that pink paint went to the end of those bristles. So I just want to get these brushes out of my way. I need to find one I want to use for watercolor. You know, part of my problem is I don't really know the best brush to use for watercolor. I've seen this one needs, I've seen it said that it needs to be a stiffer bristled brush. Every watercolor brush I've ever seen is like all fruit, well, the cheapy ones. I don't have specific watercolor brushes. I have brushes that say they could be used for acrylic, watercolor, etc., etc. So I've been working on I've worked on some clusters. I've just been starting out with this, and I've just made a few. But I've got this one that I made the other night while I was just hanging out. And I just took some scraps of paper, and I had this little ticket embellishment that I got in my last flock swap. I had a whole sheet of them, and I ripped the blue paper, so at the rip at the bottom I just put some glue and some gold glitter, and then I used some I don't know what you call this material, I can't think of it. It was a little bag, and I basically cut the bag apart so I could use pieces of it's like tulle, I guess, kind of. But it's kind of sparkly and it's pretty stiff, and I basically just kind of folded it in half and stapled it and then glued stuff over it just to add a little bit of dimension. So that's one of the ones that I had made, and I've got another one around here somewhere that I don't know where it went. And then I made this one. It says Flora and Fauna. It's got a little flower on it, and I used I got a 12 pack of the Stabilo All pencils, so I've been using them on every freaking thing that I make now because I'm addicted to them. This is the other one I made. This is getting sent out in my March flock swap. This is my favorite one. It says Run Wild, Run Free, and it's got this is just a piece of paper that I basically inked with leftover ink on my ink dauber, and then cut the little flags at the end, whatever you call them. I mean, that's a piece of scrap washi tape, some scrap paper under here, but yeah, this isn't even a ribbon, this is just paper. And then I found this bird sticker at the bottom of a pile somewhere. This used to be on I had a notebook at work when I was studying for my procurement certification, and I had a couple little cute stickers on it to make me happy because, you know, studying for something like that doesn't usually really make you that happy, but so it kept falling off, so it found its way back home, and I found it at the bottom of my little bucket, and I was like, oh, I'm going to use that. So I pulled this out because I wanted to send this in my, I wanted to do something with this. It's actually a pretty thick chipboard, but they basically come with the, you know, the middle to pop out, so you basically get a little tag out of the deal too. So I was going to embellish this, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet. I also considered finding a quote maybe and printing it, and maybe using this as more of a frame. So I'd back the quote with some cardboard so it'd be a little sturdier, and then glue it to the back here. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do yet. I've got this quote. That one's way too big. I would actually need to like measure this and then decide how big my quote needed to be, and then I would actually need to go print it out. Yes, so I've got a couple of different options I can do with that, and I just really haven't decided what all I'm going to do yet. So I've basically got just a pile over here of stuff that I kind of grabbed that I wanted to use to make clusters with. And so I've got some scrap papers and then some like embellishment type stuff that I've just been working on. So And I could what I was thinking of doing is just maybe putting a couple flowers and a couple of, like flat backs or something on it, and then maybe a small phrase. And then that way my partner can use it to frame whatever she wants. And then this, I would just maybe do some matching flowers. And then this, I have this bright green die cut that I received from a swap at one point. I'm gonna fix this little edge of tape. There is glue holding this material down, and then I just put a piece of tape over it to cover up all the ugly parts, but this little corner of the tape, there's not glue over here. So I'm just gonna stick a bit of glue there so the tape stays down and doesn't keep popping up. Come on, glue. Come on, glue. But the bright green, obviously I cut die cuts all the time in colors that I don't like, and then I paint them, you know. So that's how I get around that. That way I get paper recycled, and then I can decorate it how I want. But I used some of this tool and folded it and pulled it through. There's actually a hole up here so that it just looks like it. And this was part of the top of the bag that you could pull together to make it tight. And so I just went ahead and cut out this part just because I like how it cinched it, but bunched it, whatever. So I basically went over this with just a tiny bit of gesso just to kind of dull the color down a little bit. And then the next thing I did so far was I sprayed some of the Dilutions, the mica spray in the turquoise. So there's kind of a, and you won't probably be able to see it on camera, but oh yeah, you can a little bit. There's just a blue splattery, kind of a turquoise splattery sheen to this. And I think that's really cute. I was gonna do like use a glitter gel pen or something like that, and I was gonna make like little dots in there like fireflies, which would also be cute. But then I decided, I found this little butterfly, and I think I just want to put the little butterfly in there. I swear I can never find what I'm looking for, and I just found my what am I thinking of here? Oh, the glitter pen thingy that I love, my Wink of Stella pen. I just found it the other day when I couldn't find it, and now I can't find it again. I swear. I keep reorganizing and rearranging stuff, and I still can't find anything. So I took all my, oh, I bet it's in here, because I took all of my pins and stuff. I need more pin jars, cans. I get these like at the Target One Spot, and I have tons of them. And these are all my mermaid markers, Jane Davenport, and these are my watercolor pencils that I got from Hobby Lobby. So these are the generic brand, or not Hobby Lobby, these are Fine Touch. I think I got these at Tuesday Morning, but actually I'm pretty sure this is a Hobby Lobby brand. I got those because I got them on sale, and I wanted to try out watercolor pencils. And then I've got my I'm gonna call it Arteza because that's what I always call it, but Leanne over at Creatively Free to Be Me thinks it's pronounced Arteza. They'll tell me if they don't like it, I suppose. I've got all that stuff in there, and then I had all of these pins that are in here in my drawer right here, all of this stuff. So here's my trusty Stabilo All that I'm in love with now. And then I've got the metallic Pitt Artist pins, which I love to use those and smudge. And then I've got my black Pitt Artist pins. And then I've got my white gel pens, a Micron pen, a Sharpie, which I love those too. And I've got a couple of metallic jelly rolls left that still worked. And then this is my embossing pen. Where is my Wink of Stella, and why is it not in there with all my pins? Where did I put it? I do not know. That is so frustrating. Like, okay, I'm excited about this. I just found it. I found it on the Cricut store, and I cut it out the other day in just some crappy color that, well, it's not crappy. When I say crappy, I just mean I don't ever see myself using a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock in this color, but you never know. I have a ton of it that I've had for years and I've never used. So just because I say crappy doesn't mean that I think you're crappy if you like it or anything like that. So I'm just saying this is my personal, thought process that I'm probably never going to use it. So anyway, I cut this out, this rooster, and I'm going to put this in my flock swap journal. I think I have a front page that's just one page that I skipped and didn't put anything on it because I want my spreads to be two-page spreads. So this is either going to go on the inside cover, I'm going to do some background, and then I'm going to paint him up all snazzy looking to, that way I can kind of add an element of flockiness that goes along with our theme over there at the flock. This could be pretty. I just saw this bright green and this bright aqua on the corner of that. I love these little flowers, and I wish I could remember who sent these to me. I need to learn how to make them. I mean, I've got tons of scrap cloth. I could figure it out. But I actually kind of like that on the corner of there, so I think we'll do that. So the reason why I was looking for my Wink of Stella pin was that I really wanted to use it to make this butterfly sparkly, because it's a lot easier and a lot more controlled to use the Wink of Stella pin than it is to get out some glitter paint, which I can do that. I can get out some glitter paint and just paint it. Ain't no big deal, but I like the Wink of Stella. If my head was not attached, I would not have a clue. Pretty sure it's not in here. This is I bought this from Spanky. She was on this this little storage roll-up making, she was on a roll there for a while, so she was making a ton of these. She probably still is, but I haven't got it all filled up yet. I wanted to start by putting my fine paint brushes in here because it, after a while trying to dig through this bucket to find everything I need, it gets to be kind of a pain in the butt. Like this, I don't know why this is not in there. These are my Jane Davenport brushes. I'll put those in there too. And some of these I've stuffed a couple into one thing because these are really fine. I know I have another Jane Davenport brush in here somewhere. So I thought I got 3 with that one set that I bought. Maybe I just got 2. I have no idea. Or maybe it's already in here. I don't know. I don't know. This brush has barely ever even gotten wet, and it's still rusty. Why do some of these rust so bad, and some of these others never rust a moment in their lives? I do not understand. That could probably go in there. But anyway, that's what I was in the process of doing with that. And I change the places that I put things so often. I think I wasn't going to put these in here because they're so much taller. My long-handled purple paintbrushes that I just love because they're purple and they're long-handled, and it makes me feel like a true artist. I think this is one of those cheapy brushes that came in a watercolor set that I'm pretty sure doesn't do anything good. But I'll test it. So I thought that I would just take a little bit to come on here today and just, we're not doing anything specific. But there were a few things that I wanted to work on, and I figured, I think my problem now is that I'm scared to do a video because I have no idea. I feel like I have no clue what I'm doing, so I'm just scared now. And so that's the other part of the reason, aside from that I don't often just sit here and just craft without, you know, stopping and going and doing something else, which is usually getting on the computer and either doing something on the computer or doing some kind of chore. I don't know. Anyway, nobody cares. Nobody cares. What I care about is where in the hell I am not monetized. Hell. Where in the hell is my Stella thing? Drive me insane. Oh, I think I know where I put it. See, this is the exact same conclusion I came to last time too. I remembered that I stuck it in my drawer with my Poscas and my graphite and my gelatos, and there it is. See, here's my box. You can buy a 12-pack on Amazon for like 11 bucks or something. It was cheap. So yeah, I'm in love with those. I'm in love with those. So really all I wanted to do is just make my butterfly glittery, and I'm thinking, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do it all over. Now, right now I'm just kind of doing the edges. I like contrast one way or the other. So I don't know if I could add a little bit of, I wonder if I could add just a little bit of color without, I'm going to wait for that glitter to dry. The other thing, see, I'm all over the place this morning because I got all this stuff that I'm just like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. What I really wanted to do is get some of this stuff going, and then I wanted to try to do, at least start a quick mixed media page in my book, because I really wanted to show you guys the Arteza gouache paints because I'm in love with those. I'll show you what I've done with them so far. I think I just tried them out one time, so I've literally gotten out 2 colors, but I did this. Oh, this is the face I'm working on. The things that I think are going well, obviously this is all screwed up over here, because that's okay. I'm not trying to do portrait style faces. They're going to end up being my own style anyway, but I've been using a mix of mermaid markers and watercolor pencils. And so her eyes are closed. And then what I was going to do is something up here, so not necessarily traditional hair. So I'm either going to do flowers or I'm going to collage other things. And some of this color that's here has bled through from the page behind. So before I got too much further into this, because this paper doesn't take water very well, so trying to use watercolor pencils wasn't working too well. I went ahead and put some clear gesso over this so that I could try to, I wasn't sure how the watercolor pencils or watercolors or mermaid markers were going to work over gesso, because I'm pretty sure you normally want that paper, the paper fiber exposed so that it soaks into it, and I think gesso tends to make things just sit on top. I could be wrong. I mean, obviously for some mediums that's fine, but I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't sure how it'd work out, but I've been able to pretty much keep putting stuff on top of it, and it works okay. And I haven't worked on it in a while, but So the thing so far, like, I know this needs to be blended out, fixed, whatever. I'm really happy about my shading here. Under her chin and on the side of her neck. I think that turned out good, and so far I'm gonna like the closed eyes. I need to do shading around the nose. The lips could have turned out better, but you know, I'm not done yet. I can fix that. This is a page that I did when I was following along with the Take 5 Art Challenge for March. It says, pretending I'm a pleasant person is exhausting. Is that not the truth? I love how this one turned out too. This one's really good. And then this says, the struggles beneath are hidden by her smile. That's just some picture of me that I halfway like. That I took a selfie of myself sitting in the car, I think, waiting to pick up my kid. And that picture was taken like a year ago or something. I never take selfies because they're terrible. But so I printed it out on my sprocket, and then the gray and the yellow are the gouache paints, and they're beautiful. So I'm sure most of you use gouache paint or have used it, and this is nothing new. So I did get the set that has got the 60 tube set that also has the metallics. So I've got like a silver and then a yellow. And so, yeah, you know, they work like watercolor. I mean, like most people will say, they really do work like watercolor, but they stay much more opaque, and they do not have a chalky feel at all. So this was basically just me wanting to play with the gouache paints. This I decided I finally wanted to do a page about my kid getting his permit, mainly because we went last week to the driver's ed meeting, so he's had his permit for a while, and now he's finally starting driver's ed. So just printed out a couple of pictures, glued them down. It's nothing fancy or exciting. So this is more trying to really document things, memory keeping. So I wrote, where did the time go? Because that's basically my 15 years old. What? That's kind of my response to all of this, is I can't believe how fast time has gone. So this was, this started out as just leftover black gesso that I wanted to, you know, not waste, and then just clustered a bunch of strips of paper and some other pieces that I had in a box, and I found this little car, and I felt the need, it was all yellow, I guess I felt the need to go over it with some alcohol marker and change the color, so now it's like super funky with its orange, yellow, red, blue, green. It doesn't look good, but that's okay. But I was just trying to show you, yeah, everything just gets so, all I do is yak. Okay. I was going to try to watercolor these stamps. These images that I had stamped, I'd probably have stamped these like years ago. And they've been sitting around in my stash forever. And I was thinking that I was going to try to, I was just going to send them like this, and then I was thinking that maybe I wanted to actually try to watercolor them. This is not watercolor paper, which is fine, but probably means it won't go so well. I've got this water brush, which is fine, but I wanted to try both of these and kind of see. That might be too big. And I've got some of these that I did not ink in black. And I don't even know what kind of ink this was. I have no idea if it's going to react with water and then reconstitute itself. I really just don't know. And I have no idea how to watercolor objects either. I mean, I think the point of it is that it's okay for it to, you know, look watercolory. So it's not I'm not trying to be like precise and completely precise. But I tend to see people, you know, doing a lot of this kind of splotchy stuff. So I don't know. I'm not good at it. That's all right. I basically just kind of wanted to add some color here. And it's okay if it goes out over the line. Hopefully it will be transparent enough that I love this minty green color. And I think I want to make my dude's little bodies this color. It's pretty. So I guess what I should do is just try my best. But I think trying to stay inside the lines is kind of ridiculous. But, you know, I'm not a professional. I just, I like to make a mess, but more importantly, I just love color. And I love paper. And I've always loved paper. And color. So it makes sense that I would love putting color on paper. Even if I'm no good at it. So this brush seems to work decently well until I make a big old splooge down there at the bottom. That's alright. Whatever. The thing about that is if somebody wants to fussy cut these, then I guess they can. Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, like with those flowers. Like, what am I... So... I mean, what am I supposed to do to get these to look like watercolored tulips here? You know? I feel like there's something more I should be doing. Because like this one, they just kind of look like a mess right now. They do. So yes, the weather's finally gotten nicer here. My father-in-law is coming over later today. I'm sure I've mentioned, if you don't remember, that my mother-in-law passed away late last year, right before the holidays, and it was unexpected at that time. So we try to do a good job of calling him and inviting him over to eat so that he's not by himself all the time. So we're gonna do stuffed hamburgers, like inside out burgers. We got a little press that's supposed to help us do that. What color do I want to make the wings? For some reason, I was kind of going toward thinking of yellow, but I'm not sure that I want to do the yellow. So we're going to do purple. So I'm going to splotch in here some purple. And then I might go back after I splotch some purple. And then maybe after that dries, throw some yellow. I don't know. Is that allowed? Can I do that? Yeah, I'm super stopped up first thing in the morning. And my coffee's getting cold, which is frustrating. Okay, so where else could I use purple? I could use some purple here. So, maybe I need to think of this more like I just need to do a light wash inside these flowers. I think I got too much paint in these, maybe, and that's part of the problem, because I kept layering so much, because, like, that's cute. You know, that does okay. That one's okay. So am I doing, like, a light wash in here? I mean, clearly I have no clue. That's alright. Also, this is not watercolor paper, which I've already told you. It's actually taking it pretty well, though, to be honest, so... And what I'm thinking I could do after I paint these is possibly go back over the outline with some... There we go, that's pretty. With some paint marker, or... Oh, that's terrible. I love the look of the yellow with the pink, but... Clearly I have no idea. Go back over them with some paint markers. I do like how the color looks. I don't like, it doesn't look like it's watercolored so much to me. It just looks like it's badly colored in with marker. Oh, that's alright. I'm trying here. I'm trying. And then do some purple at the bottom. So I was going to go back in and do what? Yellow over those wings? I was going to go back and do some yellow, wasn't I? There may not be enough water on my brush. Or there may be too much water. I don't know. It's funny because I mainly started using watercolors to make backgrounds for journal pages because I liked how that looked, and Leanne can pull it off really well. She always makes hers look amazing. I like the idea, though, that she had a live stream yesterday, and I believe it was her first one, as much as I could gather from the comments. Her first one on YouTube. I think she does them on Patreon. She warms up first before she actually does a project by swatching. And that might be a good idea for me because I noticed that kind of like the longer I'm going here, like the better things are looking. Like I'm liking how that one turned out, that flower. I must be getting way too much paint or something. I don't know, because this is just covering up the yellow and it's not really blending with the yellow at all. Of course, I am laying a darker color on top of a lighter color, which is probably a huge faux pas. And purple and yellow probably make mud. Although I think in this case it's not bad looking. I think that if I had put a little bit of like glitter paint over it, it would look, you know, like little iridescent-y, glittering in the sunlight. That's what we're going for. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. We're going for glittery in the sunlight. That's what we're going for. So I actually kind of like how these look, and I like the smudgy watercolory edges because I mean I kind of feel like that's what we're going for here. Like that's kind of the point of this because they are watercolored. So I need to stop being so hard on myself here. We're just having some fun. It's not perfection. So I like that. So let's just do a bit more of that on here. On these. We're going to do a couple different colors and kind of see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and darken this up on the edge here. There we go. See, now I think the best way, and I don't know, but for me, what I would do is I already have these stamped and I just wanted to throw some color in there. I could have sat here with some markers and done it, but that's not I wanted to play with watercolor. So I'm thinking what would be super cool to do in situations like this is just watercolor, in like squares. And then like do a big old square patch on your sheet of paper of watercolors, mix colors together that you like. Play around a little bit and then let all that dry and then come back and stamp over it. And then you've got your image stamped onto the background of color that you like, and then you can fussy cut it out to your specification. For me, I'm not much of a fussy cutter. I mean, sometimes it depends. I tend to be a lot more lenient about my fussy cuts because I figure that all I need to do is kind of throw an outline on things, and then it won't matter how well I fussy cutted it because it looks decent once you throw a black outline around it. Now this is probably where I'm finding that I'm having issue because it's not watercolor paper. It's really not moving when I'm adding water back to it, and that's because I'm not using the appropriate kind of paper. These were already stamped on cardstock. Luckily, it's not warping a ton. Oh, look at how it looks on the back, though. That's cool. I think just going over these with the Wink of Stellas would be super pretty to make the wings glittery. I'm scared to death to do anything with this because I'm just going to jack it right up. Yeah, this is that brush that I think is crap that's probably going to go in the... Might be good for like some sort of a background, maybe, but there's no way I'm going to do anything detailed with this. It actually works pretty good for a background because it's fanning out pretty nicely. I don't know anything about brushes. I looked at open stock watercolor, like specific watercolor brushes the other day when I was at Michael's, and I about crapped my pants. I was like, oh my god. There were some of them that were like super expensive. Like, obviously I don't need, and I was looking at not only the professional grade ones, I'm not a professional. I'm just I wouldn't even call myself a novice. I call myself a player. I play. I actually kind of really like how this brush, if I'm doing that kind of a thing. Now I could get those to blend a lot better if I had some watercolor paper. But I like those colors. They're so pretty. Yeah. So anyway, the question of the day is that do I really want to try my luck at coloring those flowers? I want to make them let's try this yellow color. way too much water or something. So what I was trying to do is go back here and pull some of this color out of that one, out of that tulip. I'm calling these tulips. I'm not entirely sure what they are, but they kind of look like tulips to me. So, need some more color. Oops, wrong one. Wrong one. So we're having the stuffed hamburgers, and then I am making fried potatoes because my dad loves fried potatoes. And when we were at the store yesterday, and my husband was asking me, so what are we gonna have with them? And I'm like naming off things. I said, or I could fry potatoes. And of course my dad grins at me because he loves fried potatoes, and of course he wants me to make fried potatoes. So they are that's what I should have bought the onion for. It's the fried potatoes. Should have. I was thinking to myself that I didn't need, is that a flower over there or is that a leaf? That's the other thing about coloring in stuff sometimes. I have no idea if it's supposed to be, oh, my eye hurts. Something happened underneath my eye that's really super sore. Okay, that's actually not half bad. So far I really like the I got a whole set of the Arteza water brushes. So what do? Just squeeze some water out and then clean it off that way. I've got some really thick ones too. Like this one is huge. I love it. That would be a good background brush for sure. I hate putting the lid back on because I just know I'm going to catch like 2 bristles outside the lid and bend them all to the side, and then I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad. There's a little butterfly up there, so I don't... What color do I want the butterfly? I think a purple. These Prisma watercolors are very pigmented, and I also think I'm not used to that. Although the Jane Davenport ones are too. And I'm trying to color intricate pictures. I mean, what do I expect? There, we'll just add some purple to those flowers over here. Why not? And then I need a green for the leaves, and not a mint green. I've got the perfect green right over here. Man, this pan is dirty. Look at all this. It's so pretty though. I've got all these pretty little splatters down here and all this gorgeous stuff over here. It's gorgeous. Yes, I'm in love with my splatters. I cannot help myself. So, man, I am congested in the morning. Oh, this is fun. I need to do this more often instead of being so... I get so anxious. Like, oh, I've got to get stuff done. I want to work on this, and I want to work on that, and I want to send stuff out to this person and to that person, and I need to work on a swap, and I want to play my video game, because, yeah, I do that too. I know it's nerdy, but I don't give a crap, because I love it. And I've got great friends in my gaming group, and they are wonderful people, and most of them are from Europe, and I absolutely love playing with them and having conversations with them. And so, yeah, I'm not, you know what, take it or leave it. I love my my gaming group, and I love the game that I play, so we're good. Wow, look how much this yellow down here bled through that tulip. It's like, or it bled through the lines. It's crazy how far that went out, because I didn't think that yeah, I did. I had way too much on that one, because that's the one I kept going back and trying to steal color from. And then it looks like it's sitting on some sort of a mat. I want to call it a handkerchief place mat. It's sitting on something. I definitely want the can to be, this might be a good time to go ahead and pull out some gouache, maybe. No, I don't think I want to use gouache. I think I want to use alcohol marker, which should work pretty good on that paper because it's smooth like marker paper. But I'm going to leave my watercolors open so they can dry a little bit. I mean, I don't know. These aren't terrible. Are these dry? Probably not dry enough for me to come back with some Posca. I just want these. I totally lost the outlines. But, you know, I never wait till things are dry. So, I'm just going to go back in and... Where'd my... Okay, there it is. Clean up my watercolor mess here. And I do like the smell of the Murphy's. And if I scrubbed enough, I could get this old stuff off, but I would really need like an appropriate rag or something that's got some texture on it to scrub some of these bits off, because they've been here a long time. And it does not leave a residue, and it dries fast. And anyway, I'm gonna sell a lot of Murphy's. Go buy Murphy's. This may turn out even worse than it already is. We're gonna see. And it does not. We're going to do this. Try to kind of follow the same. I don't think that's bad. Wipe off my tip there. I like that one. That's probably my favorite. This one might be turning out nice. I'm not as happy with the dragonfly wings as I had hoped. I remembered where I put my Wink of Stella this time. That's awesome. But all I want to do here is just add some glitter. I just love this brush pen, and I know there are so many ways you can add glitter to things, you know, because I've got glitter paint and I've got glitter glue, but to me this brush is just, it just allows me to literally put it exactly where I want it. I'm not even squeezing on this thing. It always just comes out. I'm in love with this Wink of Stella. And there's others. They come in colors and black, and I'm pretty sure I just bought the clear one because that's all I wanted was the clear. But so now the wings are sparkly, which I don't know if you can see or not, but that makes a world of difference to me. So that I will probably go back and, well, I could use Poscas for that too. I've got silver. I could make a silver pot. I don't think I want Poscas. I'm pretty sure I do want my alcohol markers. I want this, maybe. Warm gray, 70%. Whatever. Just give me some gray. 70, 80, 90. Cool. Moderately bitchy. I don't care. Warm, like the color has an attitude. The color has an attitude. Yeah, that might be too dark. The thing, what I wanted here was to allow, a lot of times with these alcohol markers, what I like about them is they kind of dry opaquely. No, not as opaquely. And I think it depends on what you're coloring. I like to use alcohol markers to, so if I like print out a black and white picture and then I want to add like red lips, so I love, or you know, the eye color, if I want to like make the eyes like bright green or something like that, I love using alcohol markers for that because I can color the lips, and maybe it's the kind of paper too, it soaks through enough that you can still see like the picture, so you can see all the details of the lips, and basically all you're doing is just soaking some color into it, and I really love it. Cool gray, 30%. Warm gray, 50%. So I'm assuming that means that it's gonna be less opaque. French gray, 50%. I have no idea. Let's try. I mean, I'm not trying to sell my coloring here, so it's not that big of a deal, but I'm curious. No, that is the same. Actually, that's darker. Heck, I don't know. I'm gonna do this where those lines are now, because I'm gonna try to come in with a lighter gray if I can find one. That probably would have been a good place to use my watercolor pencils, right? See, we're learning. Because I could have outlined the edges with the watercolor pencil. And then, I guess, you know, I could swatch this so I actually know what it's going to look like before I stick it on the... I'm getting smarter every day. Smarter every day. I need to swatch it on. There we go. There, that's lighter. It's a little bit lighter at least. But then you put it here and it doesn't look any lighter at all. This would have been a good place to use watercolor pencils, because then I could have outlined them. That is hard to tell if that, but I believe, oh, I missed a leaf. I'm gonna have to go back and rectify that situation. What does, this would be a good time to figure out how this, I'm assuming this is not gonna do anything for me. It would probably help if I continued to color, kept my strokes going in the same direction. I don't think alcohol markers actually blend that well as far as, well, and I'm probably not have to do it like when they're actually wet. And they dry very fast because they're alcohol markers. It blends out some of this, but so what I'm trying to do is go from a little bit darker to a little bit lighter over here because, you know, shading and such. So I'm trying to make it darker and then going to lighter, which is what I'm doing here and here. blender again. Yeah, I know that water-based markers, I think they blend and move better, and I want to try some. It's another thing on my list, some of those Tombow dual brush pens. I'd like to try those. But I considered returning these. I got them for Christmas because I already have chameleon alcohol markers. But I decided I would go ahead and keep these just because I wanted to keep these. So doesn't mean I can't buy more markers, right? That's actually not too bad. I mean, it's not a professional job or anything, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm probably gonna have to do another video if I want to do some mixed media page work. I'm thinking. I missed a leaf. I gotta go back and get my leaf that I missed here. I didn't think I was going to take so long painting this, but then it kind of turned out to be more fun than I thought it would. So yeah. So I think that I am going to try to. What color should that be? Let's make it pink. Pink on the outside here. I guess now I'm technically doing a mixed media piece. That, because I've got alcohol marker and I've got watercolor, and now I've got, I believe these are watercolor pencils. I know that I wouldn't be able to pull anything out of that on this paper. Especially these less expensive ones. I definitely have to say the Arteza ones. I bought some Arteza watercolor pencils. They work a lot better. So it pulls it out a little bit. You can't expect it to pull it out too terribly much because you are not on watercolor paper, and I think that so it works obviously better on the right kind of paper. But again, I am not, if I was if I was painting a portrait for an art show, then obviously I would want to put it on the right kind of paper, but I'm not. So I use what I got. And that's how it is, whether you like it or not. Alright. I don't know. I'm actually rather proud of this. I think it turned out pretty. So I got a bunch of different little things that I colored in just for fun with watercolor. I think they're pretty. So yeah, that will go out. That will be used as far as in making some of my embellishments. I really like the idea of putting this here. So the question is, I want it to be, I need to smush it down. So I need a nice big old gob of glue there. Fabric Fusion. Well, why didn't I use this on my ribbon yesterday? On my envelope that I'm decorating. That would have been helpful. If I can even get this to work. This is old. We're going to spend 15 minutes watching me try to get the glue out of the bottle. Oh. Would you look at that? It came out much faster than I thought I would. So I put a ton on there. Because what I want to do is just squish it down. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. So if it's even halfway stuck down, which I believe it is, this is where you This is where you get up in here with a binder clip and clip it down. There. Stay. Now I've got some major glue fingers. Some pretty tacky stuff. I have a solution for that. This bottle, though, is kind of a pain in the ass. I saved it from something else. It used to have a homemade Febreze in it. I went through that whole thing of the making the homemade Febreze with the essential oil, and I think it was, oh, I've done it before with I used to make it with fabric softener because I like the smell of it so much, but then I started making it with some essential oil. Anyway, that came and went. So I don't know, I feel like this needs something else aside from a butterfly. I kind of wanted to do some streakiness around the edges of the jar, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to get the right look. I'm gonna try. I don't know how to explain what I wanted. I wanted it to be with this teal paint. Is what I wanted. And I don't need that much. It's not going to be, a finger is not going to do it. It's going to be like, and I think this paint's going to have to be watered down. Like, it's going to have to be pretty juicy to get the effect that I was thinking. And I'm not even sure that I will be able to get the effect I was thinking. Yeah, see, it's not really what I want. I don't know what I'm thinking. Maybe what I was thinking was a dry brush. More of a dry brush technique. I don't know, what do we think? I mean, it's not bad. It's not what I was thinking, but I don't know that I hate it. I definitely like how the teal and the green that are in the background kind of mix. I'm loving that. It's pretty great if you ask me. I don't know, I like it. Now, should it be up at the top too? I don't know. I feel like it needs something besides a butterfly, but maybe not. Maybe we'd be all right. That's part of my problem too. I just can't stop. So what I definitely want to get back to doing is finding inspiration, which there's so much of it out there, but the very first time I decided I wanted to do a take on a piece of work that Lisa Oxley had done, I had so much fun doing it just by kind of watching her video and doing it my own way, and it turned out lovely. It was one of my favorite pieces, and I want to keep doing that. I just want to go find pictures on Pinterest and look at it and go, okay, I want to do that too, but do it in my colors and, you know, use my quotes or my ephemera or whatever. And that's really what I've been wanting to do for quite a while on video, not just I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that kind of turned out cute. I like it. I like it. You still get that blue shimmer behind it. I was trying to do, like, you know, a streaky, I guess, an aged look, maybe. Didn't quite really turn out that way. I'm wondering wondering if there's anything else I should be doing to it to get it to look how I want. Now that I've got the butterfly on there, I'm going to muck it all up by throwing more paint on here, right? I hear trickling water. I'm not sure where that's coming from. I just added a little bit more water to this to try to kind of, there we go. Yeah, I like how that looks. All right, this, see if our flower is gonna stick. Oh, it is. I just love that. The bright green, and I'm not a bright green fan either, but so what I did here is I mixed, and it's probably hard to tell now, but I used some hot pink paint, which is not some, was it Deco Arts or was it something else? Deco Arts usually a little bit more opaque. No, it wasn't. That's why. This stuff is not opaque at all. It's very transparent, so it needs like 500 coats. But anyway, I used this, and then I kind of kept alternating layers between that and then this melon color, which I'm in love with. And so it kind of, you know, you've got a little bit of that, a little bit of the bright showing through, but you've got some of that melon going too. And so I just love how the color turned out. And I think this bright green against that and this blue is really pretty. So yeah, I'm loving that. Why am I hearing trickling water? Somebody must be bathing. Maybe somebody's showering. It's a great idea. Maybe I should think about showering, but it's Sunday and I'm lazy. I'll do it in a little bit. Right now I'm putting paint on things and calling it art. Just let me have my dream. Let me have my dream. Putting paint on things and calling it art. It's not art. This is fun. I could not be so bold as to call this art. I don't know. I kind of like that. I kind of like it. I don't know if I've got anything on there. So I was thinking what I would do with this then is just use some kind of a quote. Let's see what I've got here. I like that one. So I was pretty proud of myself the other day because I decided that finally that I wanted to decorate my Cricut machine because I've had it for so long and haven't even cut anything for it. And so I decided to cut out, I found some flowers in the Cricut Access that I really, really, really liked. And so I got my Avery label paper out and basically made stickers for my Cricut machine, which looks super cool. So now I want to make stickers for my laptop. And I've got some of the stickers that came on it that are starting to come off now, so I need to like get those pulled off and then goog on it. I'm gonna go ahead and re-ink that with something. I wonder how this would look. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. And I don't know if this is one of those situations where I'm just going to ink the edge or if I'm going to go all in. Here's an orange. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about these ink blenders. I don't really feel like that they do all that much for me, but I mean, I don't know. It's really, I do like the color of that orange though, I have to say. So, we probably will not need any cracked pistachio. Yeah, that's cute. Okay. I am happy with that. So now I just need to stick it on. We're gonna stick it on. And for that we use glue. Glue. I want it to stick, so I will not use glue stick. Because I should call it glue not stick, because most of the time it did not stick. But my aqua mono liquid glue I will swear by, and I actually do not want this to be straight. I want it to be unstraight. Notice what I'm doing there, unstick, unstraight. Yeah, I know. I love this stuff, and you know, I've been using it a lot more than I've been using my A-leans lately. There's nothing wrong with my A-leans, I like it too, but I think part of it is that I have a little bit of a more precise tip on this, and I think that it grabs just a little bit faster. Alright, so I've got a couple of things done. What's that looking like? I don't know, that's pretty cute. It kind of coordinates with that. I'll probably do something else to it, but I'm not sure what yet. Actually, I'm probably going to go ahead and actually do the top as well. Alright, let that dry. Okay, so this is that. I could go around this one too. Maybe I could just go around the inside of this one. Okay, that's about all the patience I have for one sitting. So I'm going to have to get up and go see what's going on upstairs and do some other stuff. And then if I have time later, I might go ahead and do a mixed media piece in my book. And that would be fun to do that. And record another video maybe. That would be awesome, because I really want to use these paints, and they're going to have to be stored in a different manner because I can't stand these trays. I mean, they're fine. I'm not the kind of person that's going to be able to sit here and dig through these trays and go, where is the color that I want? Because there's 9 million trays, because there's 60 colors. Yeah, you notice how that doesn't make sense at all. 9 million and 60, you don't. But I would probably be better off putting them all in I'd probably be better off dumping them out of the trays and just dumping them in the box. And then just digging through them rather than trying to pull trays out. I will show you that I found, I think it was Lindsay, the frugal crafter, that gave me this idea about using like the tape And I just used washi tape. She used duct tape, but I used washi tape and made tabs, and I put little dots of glue on it and glued them. And yes, these should have been wider. The wider tape works a lot better, but that's what I had. But it allows you to grab these trays and pull them out of your tin without having to like try to get your finger in there and dig them out. So this works. This thicker tape, where I have it on, you know, both sides of this, obviously keeps it balanced better, but not really that big of a deal. Once I get it picked up, I can stick a finger under it. These will not be probably in this container forever either, because it's cold. Oh, I also want to do some jelly printing, and look what I did. Oh my gosh, I opened it and stuck it right in my pile of paint that was over there. That's wonderful. Not that I care. Just let's get it dry before I put it in the drawer. Okay. Yeah, I can't come down here without making some sort of a mess. Yeah, I also need to do some jelly printing. But yeah, so I can probably, I'll go ahead and let those dry just a little bit more. The last thing I want is some moldy watercolors. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me. This wasn't so stressful, so I don't know if you guys are okay watching me just do random crafting. It's like crap and crafting. Random crafting. If you're okay with me just doing some random crafting and not necessarily, you know, having a purpose, then, you know, I can probably handle a little bit of that. So anyway, hopefully I will have a chance to come back later, and I really just kind of want to get my one of my mixed media books out and just do a mixed media page, maybe pull up some inspiration off the internet and have a go at it and kind of see where it takes me. So hopefully I will be able to come back later and do that after I get some household chore type stuff done. So anywho, thanks for hanging out with me on this Sunday morning, and I hope that everybody has a great day and a great week, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.